The message arrived at 12:11 a.m. No number, no name, just one sentence. Don't look at the hallway camera tonight. I assumed it was spam or a prank. I deleted it and put my phone face down. The apartment was quiet, but not peaceful. The kind of quiet that feels stretched, like it might snap. At exactly 12:30 a.m., the hallway light outside my door flickered. Once, twice. I tried to ignore it. Then my phone vibrated again. Another message. You already did. My stomach tightened. Slowly, against my better judgment, I picked up the phone and opened the camera app. The hallway feed loaded. At first, everything looked normal. Then I noticed something standing at the far end of the corridor. It wasn't moving. It wasn't facing the camera. But I knew, somehow, it was watching my door. I told myself the camera quality was bad. Old wiring, low light. That's why the figure looked distorted. That's why its shape felt wrong. I zoomed in. The screen glitched for a second, then cleared. The hallway was empty. I exhaled, embarrassed by my own fear. My phone buzzed again. Don't zoom. My hands went cold. I typed back for the first time. Who is this? 3 dots appeared, disappeared. Then another message arrived. It sees better when you zoom. I locked the phone and placed it on the table. The light outside my door went out completely. Darkness flooded the hallway. A second later, the sound came. Bare feet against concrete. Slow, deliberate, getting closer. They stopped right outside my door. And then the hallway camera turned on by itself. The camera feed shook slightly, like someone had touched it. The image returned in night vision. The hallway glowed pale green. At first, I saw nothing. Then I noticed the door across from mine. It was open. That door had been sealed since I moved in, painted shut, no handle. Something stood inside the apartment beyond it, not fully in view. Just a shape pressed against the frame. Too tall, too thin. The camera distorted around it, bending inward, as if the image itself was afraid. My phone vibrated. Don't let it see your face. I didn't understand. Then my reflection appeared in the dark phone screen, and I realized I was standing directly in front of my own door. If the camera could see me, so could it. I stepped back slowly. The shape across the hall leaned forward, and my door handle began to turn. The camera feed shook slightly, like someone had touched it. The image returned in night vision. The hallway glowed pale green. At first, I saw nothing. Then I noticed the door across from mine. It was open. That door had been sealed since I moved in, painted shut, no handle. Something stood inside the apartment beyond it, not fully in view, just a shape pressed against the frame. Too tall, too thin. The camera distorted around it, bending inward, as if the image itself was afraid. My phone vibrated. Don't let it see your face. I didn't understand. Then my reflection appeared in the dark phone screen, and I realized I was standing directly in front of my own door. If the camera could see me, so could it. I stepped back slowly. The shape across the hall leaned forward, and my door handle began to turn. I didn't open the door. I slid down the wall and sat on the floor, staring at the shadow beneath it. It stayed perfectly still. Minutes passed, maybe longer. My phone buzzed again. It's learning. I felt anger cut through the fear. I typed back with shaking fingers. Learning what? The reply took longer this time. How long you can pretend not to see. The hallway camera feed changed on its own. It was no longer showing outside my door. It was showing inside my apartment. From the ceiling corner, I watched myself on the screen, sitting on the floor, staring at the door. Behind me, in the reflection of the dark TV screen, something was standing, its head tilted at an impossible angle. Its face was blurred, like the camera refused to focus on it. I felt warm breath against my neck, and my phone vibrated one last time. Don't turn around. I didn't turn around. Every muscle in my body screamed to move, but I stayed frozen, eyes locked on the door. The breathing behind me was slow, curious, like it was studying how fear sounded inside a human chest. The hallway camera feed glitched again. For a brief second, the screen went black. When it came back, the view had changed. It was showing my face. Close. Too close. I hadn't touched the phone. My expression looked wrong. My eyes were open, but unfocused, like I was already somewhere else. A new message appeared. You look better like this. The breathing stopped. Silence flooded the room. Then I heard footsteps not behind me, but inside the walls, moving away. The shadow under the door slowly pulled back. The door handle clicked, locked from the outside. I stayed on the floor until morning. I didn't sleep. I didn't move. When sunlight finally pushed through the curtains, the apartment looked normal again. Too normal. The phone lay beside me, dark and silent. No messages, no camera feed. I convinced myself it was over. That afternoon, I tried to leave. The front door wouldn't open. Not stuck, not locked. It simply refused to move, like the building itself was holding it shut. I checked the hallway camera again. The screen showed the corridor exactly as it was yesterday, except now, I was standing in it, facing my apartment door, motionless. The version of me on the screen slowly raised its hand and knocked once. I dropped the phone. The sound of the knock echoed through the apartment, perfectly synced with the image on the screen. I backed away from the door, my heart pounding. Another knock, slower this time. The version of me in the hallway tilted its head, mirroring the way the thing had done earlier. My phone buzzed on the floor. A new message. You're almost ready. I picked it up with shaking hands. What happens if I don't open it? I typed. The reply came instantly. Then you stay. The hallway camera zoomed in on the face of the thing wearing my body. Its eyes blinked out of sync. Its smile was too late. Behind it, at the far end of the corridor, more shapes began to appear. Watching, waiting. The knocking stopped. The handle began to turn. The door opened just a crack. I didn't touch it. It opened on its own, slowly, carefully, as if afraid of making noise. The hallway smelled cold, empty. The thing wearing my face stood inches away. Up close, it was wrong. The skin looked stretched, unfinished. The eyes reflected light differently, like glass. It spoke for the first time, not with its mouth. Inside my head, this side is quieter. Behind it, the other shapes waited in the corridor. Barely human, barely solid. I felt something pulling at my chest, like a hand reaching inside and testing what could be removed. My phone vibrated one last time. You can switch back later. I knew it was lying, but the apartment behind me felt smaller, hungrier, and the hallway felt endless. I stepped forward. The moment I crossed the doorway, the apartment behind me went dark. Not dim, gone. The hallway stretched farther than it should have, bending slightly, like it was breathing. The thing stepped back into my old place without turning around. It already knew where everything was. The door closed softly. No slam, no echo. I tried to turn back. The hallway had changed. Doors lined the walls, now dozens of them, each marked with scratched numbers. Some crossed out, some dripping with old paint. From behind a few doors, I heard breathing. From others, quiet crying. My phone buzzed in my hand, screen flickering. Welcome. I walked forward because there was nowhere else to go. As I passed one door, I saw a familiar name carved into the wood. Mine. I stopped in front of the door with my name. The wood was warm, breathing. Scratches covered the surface, layered on top of each other, like someone had tried to claw their way out or in. I pressed my ear against it. I heard myself, not speaking, crying. My phone vibrated again. You don't belong in there anymore. The hallway lights dimmed one by one behind me, sinking into darkness. Ahead, the corridor stretched on forever. Behind me, the door with my name began to knock from the inside. Slow, desperate. I understood then. The messages, the camera, the warnings. They weren't trying to scare me. They were instructions. The knocking grew louder. I walked away. I never found an exit. The hallway doesn't end. It only changes. Sometimes I hear doors open behind me. Sometimes I hear footsteps that stop when I turn around. I've learned not to look at the cameras anymore. They don't show what's ahead. They show who's next. Every now and then, a new door appears. Clean, untouched. I know what that means. Someone new has moved into the building. Someone curious. Someone watching. If you're hearing this, If this story reached you somehow, check your door tonight. And if it's locked, don't open it. Because once you see the hallway, it never lets you go. And if you want to hear more stories like this, don't forget to subscribe to Silent Door. Some doors should stay closed.